Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on your favorite footballer updates channel. It's a pleasure to be back on this beautiful Thursday night slash evening, depending on your time zone, where we are following events from the Spanish La Liga, and Barcelona are a goal behind against a newly promoted La Liga side, Real Oviedo. That goal, quite a spectacular goal that was scored to give Oviedo the lead. The goalkeeper, that's Joan Garcia, washed and hung in the dirt. Basically, that's what I would sum it up as. He did well. He came out for a ball, and he sort of, instead of passing it to his own teammate, he sort of passed it in no man's land, and uh, you should just go watch that goal. Quite a spectacular goal that Barcelona conceded today in that game against Real Oviedo. It's in halftime, and Real Oviedo are leading by a goal to nil. Hi, LFC. How are you doing? I hope you've had a wonderful Thursday, and I hope you're good. Anyways, allow me have our audios tested and make sure everything does check out before we even go any further in this conversation tonight. It looks like things are okay. Looks like things are okay with the audio. But yeah, that's those are the events ongoing. Barcelona behind at the break. That goal scored by Reina. A beautiful game, beautiful goal. Barcelona were very dominant. I thought in the opening 45 minutes of the game, their ball possession of 78% really says that there are 3 shots on target and 2 off target. I really tell you that they've had 6 shots blocked. Eric Bailey has been really very crucial in that in that Real Oviedo defense. Real Oviedo have not really been impressive going forward. They just had that one moment where sort of a through ball is being played in over the top, and Joan Garcia is alive to eat. So he runs out, defends well, clears the lines, and then he goes on to win, to sort of stay in possession to prevent the ball going to an opponent. And then he tried to pass it. I do not remember to who exactly. And then his pass was sort of in no man's land. And then, boy, oh boy, just from long distance, scored in an empty net. You would have to go back to, I think, a goal scored by David Beckham, another scored by Wayne Rooney, for that kind of empty net kind of goal, because this is not the case of where the goalkeeper is looped, the ball, like let's say they are within their 18 yards box or outside of the 18 yards box and they are looped over. This time around, it was totally an empty net that they got to score in, and Real Oviedo went into halftime with a 1-0 lead. That goal in itself came just moments after Barcelona had hit the base of the upright through Rafinha. Rafinha having a brilliant game in so far, but they've yet to find the back of the net. One of the other attempts came from Ferran Torres. We know Ferran Torres very good at banging in the goals. He had an attempt blocked by Eric Bailey. That ball hit his ribcage and bashed, and also part of it hit his arm. But of course, it wouldn't be issued or given as a penalty, because nowhere would that have been a penalty, because he had his hands right away. So that means that they retain the advantage. But like I said, very dominant performance from Barcelona. One that I personally did expect. I thought it should be a routine win for Barcelona today. However, Real Oviedo have so far made that difficult. We're talking about the Barcelona side that have, of course, a very strong starting lineup. Pedri dictating play in that midfield. Joan Garcia in goal, Gerard Martin, Pau Kubasi, Ronald Araujo, Eric Garcia, Marco Casado, Pedri, Marcus Rashford, Dani Olmo, Rafinha, and Ferran Torres. I thought Marcus Rashford has not done enough to get himself on the ball, really, and they've made a halftime change in which they've withdrawn Marc Casado and brought on Frankie de Jong, I think, to give Barcelona more control in that midfield going into the second half, and we are into the second half already. That game is now in the 49th minute as we speak. So yeah, we'll be following the updates from that side as we go on with our broadcast tonight. But do not forget, there are other games that are ongoing away from action in the Spanish La Liga, because the earlier game finished in a 1-1 draw between Osasuna and Elche, while there are games ongoing in the UEFA Europa League with Aston Villa leading by 0-0 against Bologna. That game is into the 77th minute. The goal was scored by Captain John McGinn. That was in the 13th minute, while striker Oli Watkins missed a second half penalty just in the 68th minute to make sure it remains 1-0. So plenty of games that are being played. Olympic Lyon are 1-up against Utrecht. Victoria Pilsen are leading French Varos there. French Varos by 0-0. Rangers are a goal behind against Genk, while Stuttgart are 2-0 up against Celta Vigo. Young Boys are 4-1 behind Panathinaikos. So those are some of the games that are ongoing, but our attention is largely going to be on that game between Barcelona and Rio Oviedo. Remember, Rio Oviedo has players like Eric Bailly, formerly at Villarreal and Manchester United. It has players like Santi Cazorla, formerly at Arsenal. So, and Villarreal as well. So, those are some of the players that you might be very, that might be very, very noticeable to you. And then Solomon Rondon, this one, I think, had a stint at West Bromwich Albion. I stand to be corrected, but as far as I remember, that was part of it. So yeah, that action is ongoing there to make sure everything does go well. Remember, Barcelona find themselves in second place behind Real Madrid, who have recorded 6 in 6. So that means they are looking to close the gap, that 5-point gap between them and Real Madrid, to bring it to about 2 points thereabout. So they are looking for their 5th win of the season, because I think they've won 4 and drawn 1 in the opening 5. I hope Pedri, wherever you are, I'm sure you're busy watching that game, and that's why you're unable to join us. But as things stand, that is the way things are at the moment. Anyways, okay. Just a second. Trying to load something here to make sure. Our feed is a bit buffering. I do not know. I'm trying to have it fixed, but I'm having little luck so far. Other players like Jules Koundé, Robert Lewandowski, among those warming up, hoping that Hansi Flick will give them a sniff. Anyways, so in the other news is that Arsenal's William Saliba has agreed to sign a new contract with the Gunners. That news broken earlier today by none other than David Ornstein of The Athletic, who revealed that. He has already signed that contract. He commits his future to Arsenal by agreeing to a 5-year contract. 24-year-old centre-back entered final 2 years of his previous deal, plus Real Madrid among suitors, but French international wanted Arsenal stay and expected to sign until 2030 in the coming days. So he's agreed to sign a new contract with Arsenal. We know it's been one of the things that Arsenal's new sporting director, Andrea Bata, has been working on for the last couple of days. or actually not just days, but weeks and possibly months. Once he walked through that door, among the things he needed to secure was that. Then also, this is an exclusive of coming in from Fabrizio Romano, is that Manchester City are closing in on an agreement over a new deal for Savinho. Contract talks are at advanced final stages with the Brazilian winger to stay at Manchester City for a longer term. This follows a decision to turn down two bids from Tottenham Hotspur. We know that during the course of the summer, Savinho was subject to transfer speculation and bids from Tottenham Hotspur, who wanted to sign him as their preferred choice for a winger. So they were unable to get him, and looks like Manchester City want to tie him down to a long-term contract. Anyways, so beautiful, but parting away from that exclusive, is that for William Saliba particularly, I think it's very, very exciting news for Arsenal. This comes after they've already secured contract deals for Miles Lewis Kelly and Ethan Nwaneri. Those are some of the players who. And then they also improved Leandro Trossard's contract, not in terms of length, but pay. That's been secured by Andrea Bata. He remains in negotiations with Bukayo Saka's camp over a new long-term contract. So they want to secure all that. And I think what Arsenal have been able to do during the course of the summer in terms of reinforcements, bringing in all as many as 8 players, all quality players. I think when you listen to fellow players speak about them in regards to the quality that they bring to the table, you sort of feel positive about the club and the kind of direction that they are trying to take. So, for example, William Saliba was asked about Christian Mosquera, and he said it's just incredible. I'm trying to remember the exact word he used, because he was asked to describe them in one word, and he was, to sort of explain it further. He talked about Noni Madueke. He spoke about Ebeleche Eze, Christian Mosquera. He talked about Christian Nogard as being a leader. I mean, very, very, good words that he spoke for them. About them. Meanwhile, Barcelona have restored a parity in this game between them and Rio Oviedo. As we speak, we are into the 57th minute of the game, and just when the goal is about to come on, and then your internet buffers. That's basically what I'm struggling with. But yeah, they've restored parity, and it's 1-1. It's 1-1 at the moment. So I think in a way, what Arsenal were able to do in the summer, bringing in all those players, the likes of Martin Zubimendi, Victor Gyökeres, sort of reaffirms the belief that these players have in Arsenal in regards to their ambition of winning major silverware. Whether they are going to be able to do it under the current manager Mikel Arteta, that one remains to be seen. But so far, they're positives. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was scandalous. Eric Garcia is a goal scorer for the equalizer. But, I mean, that ball, the way he was fumbled in the area before he helps it to the back of the net, needs to be talked about. Because Rio Oviedo will know that they should have done better in defending. Barcelona, starting the short corner, they get to pass it around. And then who is that? Ronald Araujo crosses the ball in the area. Ferran Torres at the receiving end of it and makes a turn. His attempt hits the base of the upright and comes back into play before Eric Garcia taps it in from close range. So yeah, beautiful goal there for an equalizer. But like I said, I have every reason to believe that Barcelona will win this game. Oh, oh my God. Another brilliant save from the Real Oviedo goalkeeper. Once again, Rafinha forcing him into that brilliant save. So back to the contract situation. I think for Arsenal, it's a very very exciting news, knowing that because they get to secure the future of a player who we know unequivocally is come under a lot of interest and speculation linking him with the potential move to Real Madrid. It's an open secret that Real Madrid have interest in William Saliba, and the fact that he's chosen or decided to commit his longer term future to Arsenal because at 24, when you sign a 5-year contract, that means it takes you until June 2030. Possibly by then is what 29 or thereabout. So, in terms of keeping his value, it means that they if they choose to sell, they will be on the very good side of negotiations in terms of commanding a higher value for a high value defender as opposed to possibly if we were to go into next summer and he had only a year left for his current contract, but also because I know for a fact that some Arsenal fans were starting to look at Christian Mosquera and thinking to themselves, if if we fail to secure the future of William Saliba during the course of this season and probably early into next summer, then we may consider have to sell this. We may have to consider selling him, and maybe Christian Mosquera is a very very potent replacement for him. While you could say that of him, given the short-term impressions that he showed to the Arsenal fans for the few games that he's managed to feature in, again, you do not want to lose the quality of William Saliba. We know. You need to just go back a couple of years back when I think in his first full campaign at Arsenal, when Arsenal were in the UEFA Europa League and got knocked out by Sporting Lisbon. He played that game, got injured. Takahiro Tomiyasu got injured, and Arsenal season sort of the remainder of their season was shambolic. They failed to get things over the line in whatever their pursuits were at the time. So that's the importance of the player that whose future they've secured. Also, Gabriel Magalhaes, his future was secured this summer, or this during the course of the summer. And again, all that is credit to Andrea Bata, and his negotiations alongside his team and, trying to get these things over the line. So he still has a task with Bukayo Saka. We know that Gabriel Martinelli going into the summer will have 2 years left to his current contract because his current deal, I think, runs until June 2027 or something like that. So, yeah, there's going to be a couple of things for him to constantly work on going forward. But he will be very, I think Arsenal fans will be very, very confident that they do have a person with lots of experience that is very capable. He's proven to them that he can get some of these deals over the line. It's not very, very easy because sometimes you walk into negotiations over contract renewals and maybe player representatives and players themselves are used to a previous sporting director, which does not put you so much into a strong position and things like that. Then sometimes because you're a newcomer, they want to sort of bully you into certain clauses in terms of negotiations, increasing bonuses. Of course, everything they get to do in this particular case is to sort of. I understand that the player representatives want to make the best deals for their players, but also you must bear in mind that the club also has calculations to make, and that deal for William Saliba, one is to appreciate his loyalty to the club, is to appreciate also his contribution, because I think I want to believe without reasonable doubt that it does come with a pay rise, something like that. So yeah, excuse me. So to fend off Real Madrid, who are always circling around players that have a year or two left to their current contracts, starting to whisper in their ears, hoping to win them over in a year or two when they become free agents, or trying to lowball clubs that own them into selling when they sort of when they enter the final year of their contracts is something that now that Arsenal have managed to avoid with William Saliba. So meanwhile, Oviedo had a very very serious attempt on goal, but Joan Garcia was alive to the challenge. Eric Bailey, what a player! Block after block, block after block. He's denied Rafinha on multiple occasions. He's denied Rafinha on multiple occasions. He's always been a defender of quality, although injuries were never kind to him. Injuries were never kind to him. Let's see if this corner yields anything. There's a corner coming in from down the left flank. Ferran Torres, Rafinha, Marcus Rashford. Beautiful, just beautiful to watch. See, when you watch Barcelona and you try to draw correlations, let's say between them and the club that I do support, that's Arsenal, in terms of passing the ball around, is that the difference with them is that Barcelona try to go direct through the middle. But also when they reach that final third, players like Rafinha, Marcus Rashford, Ferran Torres are not afraid to try and make an attempt from distance, while Arsenal feel like they've been forbidden to try and make an attempt from distance. But beautiful game of football they are playing. Always a joy to watch. Always a joy to watch. As Solomon Rondon doing his best to hold up play every time they get the ball in forward positions. But for me, so far, the person that has impressed me the most in this particular game is Eric Bailey. Captain Santi Cazorla has been withdrawn. 40 years of age, 41. Santi Cazorla, you know, I mean, 40 years of age, and he's still balling out there. He's still starting games in the Spanish La Liga. It's just beautiful to watch. Anyways, speaking of contracts, also Liverpool have managed to secure the future of Rio Ngumoha. Rio Ngumoha did sign a new deal at Liverpool, taking him, which is valid until June 2028. That means it's a 3-year deal for the 17-year-old. Quite a revelation. He's mostly remembered for so he's been quite a revelation, especially with that goal he scored against, he scored against Newcastle to win for them, to win the game for them by 3 goals to 2 during their trip to Anfield. Sorry, during their trip to St James's Park. I think that was match day 3. So, very, very, good youngster, very promising in his performances, and he's just a joy to watch. So they get to secure his future. They get to secure his future. Oh, just trying to, you know, Anyways, yeah, we continue to follow that game. It's still 1-1. We're into the 69th minutes. I'm not yet convinced that Barcelona will not find the breakthrough to sort of uh, win all 3 points. But so far, so good. If you're a real Oviedo fan, there's some positives that you're looking at in this particular game already. So, back to Liverpool. I mean, securing the future of Ngumoha. I think that's what majority of these clubs, look forward to secure the futures of their youngsters. Usually, big clubs are always circling around. We know for a fact that Arsenal were, while they were in negotiations with Ethan Wanyeri, Chelsea were circling around. We know that Rio Ngomoho himself, Liverpool, snapped him up away from Chelsea. So we know what happened between Arsenal and Omari Hudson. We know what happened with Arsenal and Aiden Heaven. He left and joined Manchester United. Same thing happened to Chido Martin Obi, the young striker, and that kind of thing, So for all big teams, actually for all teams, big or small, it's always they always want to uh, arrive quickly to that point in time when they can't sign professional contracts with these players. So, for example, you look at a player like Max Bowman, he's not allowed to sign a professional contract. Arsenal are not allowed to pay him formally as a football player. So what they do is give him a stipend, possibly of about maybe £1,200 at the end of the month or something. Then then it is expected that perhaps they will be paying something to his parents once it's done at the end of the season or something like that. So usually it's about staying in good terms with the player and their representatives, which I oftentimes usually at that kind of stage with the parents, So for example, take an example of Miles Lewis Kelly. Lewis Kelly's mother went and studied, those, FIFA courses of being an agent and stuff like that. And she's the representative of her own son. And last summer was engaged in negotiations with the club. Barcelona into the 2-1 lead. Robert Lewandowski, the goal scorer, brilliant header across his boat in, heads the ball to the near post, and the goalkeeper almost remained static. It just happened in a snapshot, and Barcelona do have themselves a 2-1 lead. Like I said, never in doubt, never in doubt. You know, you just always when Barcelona play, it just always feels like anytime they are bound to score, anytime they are bound to score. Quick throw in, Frankie De Jong at the receiving end of the ball. They do not close him down, gets in a cheeky cross. Everybody comes in to try and defend against, Robert Lewandowski. But for as long as you're going to remain behind the striker, he's bound to beat you at that point. And basically, that's what he's done. Oh, oh, what a beautiful goal. It hits the inside of the crossbar before hitting, the floor, and then hits the back of the net. Beautiful goal there that he scored. Robert Lewandowski, edging like fine wine. He still knows where the back of the net is. He's just incredible to watch. Incredible to watch. They are ready to bring on Joe Kunde. That's Hansi Flick. Um, I think one of the most elite managers that there is in Europe. Won a treble with Barcelona last season, domestic treble. I think one with was it a treble or quadruple with Bayern Munich when you go back to 2020 when they were winning the UEFA Champions League title, when they beat up against PSG by goal to nil in the finals. Elite manager in Hans Flick. Oh, Jules Kunde, what's with the tucking in? What, you trying to be like Joan Felipe Mateta? Over the years, I've seen lots of players that love tucking in. Jules Kunde is replacing Gerard Martin. I've seen players that like to tuck in their shirts, and Jean Philippe Mateta is one of those. Jules Kunde, you go back to West Brown and Jonoshi, Lodri, who else? Those players that literally never let that shirt out of, the pants. They really want to tuck it in. So yeah, we're into the 75th minute of the game as we speak. Barcelona leading by 2-1 against Real Oviedo. So yeah, meanwhile, the weekend is coming up as closer tomorrow. Premier League action coming for match day 6. Manchester United will be in action against Brentford in the early kickoff on Saturday. Arsenal fans, you'll have to wait until Sunday. 6:30 p.m. when you travel to St. James's Park. Very, very difficult place to go. Manchester City are going to be at home against Burnley. Liverpool, I think Liverpool will play away to Crystal Palace. So, yeah, those are some of the games that will be coming your way. But we'll be looking into that tomorrow. Is there a penalty shot at here? I don't think so. Ferran Torres kicking into the back of Reina's, calf. Reina was the goal scorer in the first half. He also had a very, very brilliant attempt on goal in the second half that was set by Joan Garcia. Yeah, about 13 minutes to full time, and will shut down when it shuts down. Meanwhile, Barcelona have equally needed to defend well, particularly in the second half. Otherwise, this scoreline would have been much, much different because Real Oviedo have had the, sort of sniff at that Barcelona 18 yards box, putting the early cross. Come on. Ronald Araujo just defended brilliantly well. Oh, Joan Garcia with a brilliant save. Oh my God. Joan Garcia was just forced into a brilliant save. Sometimes I don't get it. The smaller teams, and it happens across, all the leagues or Premier in terms of top flight leagues. Smaller teams put on quite the show against these big teams, against these gigantic teams, and then when they meet their sort of equals or half equals, they do not bring the same energy. They do not bring the same energy. Now, personally, I'm not one of those people that believes that Rio Oviedo will be able to stay in the top flight. And if they were to do it, it will be, nothing short of a miracle. But they played a good game. They played a good game. Robert Lewandowski forcing the Oviedo goalkeeper into a brilliant save. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's a tight angle for Lewandowski, and yet he managed to get it on targets. That ball went out. That ball went out. And even if it were to be scored on the other side, I think it would have been reviewed. It appeared to have gone outside before the real Oviedo player puts in, the through pass. Oh, come on. Should have seen that through pass early enough. Oh. And that's the difference. The difference between good players and brilliant players, or the difference between good players and very, very good players or incredible players is the way they see the game, the small margins, when to play that pass, how quick, how soon, the urgency. Sometimes I'm watching the game and I'm thinking, come on, if you, I always believe if you play that sort of ball to your opponent, to your fellow player, quick enough, gives them that, and gives them that moment to equally reciprocate movement. Yes, I know sometimes you have to, post things a bit down and sort of come down the tempo. Then that through ball, I get the feeling sometimes players do not attempt that through pass quite often. Uh, Poor free kick by Ferran Torres, and even the rebound goes wide. Um, Free kick hits the wall, and you know, uh oh, Rashford, can he get through? Avoid fouling him. Yeah, yeah. Good hold up play. Frankie Dio, Ronald Araujo, Eric Garcia. It's a bit of playing with caution at the moment, and it's quite understandable as the minutes wear on. You take less risks, especially when you're in the league like Barcelona. You think you further you hold on to the ball, the better you're going to be to try and frustrate the opponent and things like that. Uh, I need to find out from somebody from Spain. I wish Pedri was here. Is four is Torres and four Flores, and is that like surname, common Spanish name? I find it very common. Ferran Torres, Flores. Oh, that's just too big a space in midfield to run into for Frankie de Jong. Rashford to Kunde, but De Jong. Oh, Robert Lewandowski coming so close. This close. There's a fine pass from Frankie de Jong. The way he chips it into that backline, really. Oh, Eric Bailey does a bit well to sort of derail Robert Lewandowski. Just has a slight tug on him, enough to slow him down without, putting him down to the ground. Ah, you look back at that equalizer from Barcelona, and perhaps the real goalkeeper could have done better. Uh, Perhaps get a stronger hand on that ball, or not, hold on to it entirely. Oh, 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 deflection. De Jong is just so slick on the ball. Frankie De Jong, the way he glides with the ball, makes it look easy sometimes. Rashford. Ah. Marcus Rashford is being booed by Rio Oviedo fans after he went down, holding his shoulder. Uh-oh. Barcelona looking to bring in Andreas Christensen. Try and put on more defenders to, oh, Barcelona score 3-1. It's done, sealed. There's no way back for Rio Oviedo to get an equalizer in this one. Ronald Araujo with the 89th minute goal. And yeah, Beautiful header. Beautiful header. And it's 3-1. That's 5 out of 6. 5 wins, 1 draw. They've had to work for it, but yeah, they've had to work for it. But yeah, it's been a Real Oviedo in the end will be proud of their performance, but they'll know that they should have done better defending against that corner kick. Ronald Araujo is literally left to head that ball into the back of the net. Shot number 6 of Rio Oviedo does not go toe to toe with him, does not go to the air with him, you know. We're into stoppage time, and it's 3-1 for Barcelona. Like I said, much expected. That will take them to 16 points, only 2 behind the leaders, Real Madrid, ahead of the weekend action. Rio Oviedo only 3 points, 1 victory, 5 losses from the opening 6. My expectations of them are not very high. Only better than Mallorca and Girona, who managed 2 draws. Levante not far away from them. Sociedad, Celta Vigo, all actually they are only 2 points away from 15th place. From a 14th place, Royal Vallecano. So it's not yet doom and gloom for them, but they'll need to fight better on another day. Coming to the end of the game, already into added time. Eric Bailly booked with a yellow card for a foul on Robert Lewandowski. Does take a knee in his back and also a bit of an elbow to his head as they contested for that high ball. But yeah, Barcelona in the end have been the more dominant side. 80% ball possession, 10 shots on target versus 3 for Rio Oviedo at this moment. It's just testament of that. 5 minutes were added, and we're into the 93rd minutes, 94th thereabout. So very sooner rather than later, the game is going to be finished between Barcelona and Rio Oviedo. But like I said, it's been a night not just of the Spanish La Liga, but other games were played. Other games were played in the Europa League, and Aston Villa are off to a winning start. FCSB beat up against Go Eagles, Go Ahead Eagles. I think that's from the Netherlands by goal to nil. Lille winning 2-1 against Brann. Porto beating up against Salzburg by goal to nil. Lyon beating Utrecht goal to nil. Victoria Pilsen and French Virus 1-1. Genk beating Rangers 1-0. Stuttgart winning against Celta Vigo 2-1, and 4-1 victory for Panathinaikos away to Young Boys. Yeah. So yeah. Come on, finish this game. Meanwhile, Barcelona's next game in the UEFA Champions League will come against PSG. So that's something to ponder about. Tomorrow night, Girona will be up against Espanyol. Game has finished as 3-1 in favor of Barcelona. Bayern Munich will also be in action tomorrow against Werder Bremen. Big game. Strasbourg will be up against Olympique Marseille. Then over the weekend, that's on Saturday. I think, like I told you, there's a Madrid derby between Atletico de Madrid and Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid not having the best start to the seasons, but Julian Alvarez managed to pick up a hat-trick yesterday. Barcelona will return to action on Sunday against Real Sociedad at 7:30 p.m. And again, I'm constantly wondering, what would you play on Thursday night? Only have Saturday, Friday to rest, then recovery Saturday, and you go again, and then you have a midweek game against PSG. You know, in the UEFA Champions League, because that game will come possibly on Wednesday. Barcelona PSG will come on Wednesday, yes, on Wednesday at 10 p.m. So, and Barcelona, while Barcelona will be at home, doesn't make it any less easier. Anyways, beautiful game. We've enjoyed there. In regards to, you know, Barcelona up against you know, the Real Oviedo. Yeah, so I think we'll pick up the slack tomorrow. It's been a pleasure being this with you. Thank you so much, LFC, and every single one of you that managed to catch this episode. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now. Good night.